Hi friends, I welcome you all to my new channel DM Legal. I am a law aspirant myself and I have always been very interested and keen on understanding the various legislations, the different legal concepts, the various principles and doctrines, and in general a system that abides and governs all of us. So let us understand first what law means. So John Austin defines law as it is the command of sovereign and the disobedience of which will invite the sanctions. So if we are not abiding by the laws that are laid down by the authority that is governing us, then the disobedience to it will be sanctioned. That is, we will be liable to the punishment. So first of all, in understanding any law, it is very important that we understand what it means and also understand the written format of the law, that is the statute. So here we'll first start introducing the statute to ourselves and understand how we are going to read the statute and how to construe its meanings. So the statute is basically a formal written enactment that the legislative authority has passed. So these are basically the rules that the legislative body has made for governing the state, and it is in the written format. It follows a particular protocol that we are going to understand now. I have here written down a particular statute and what all its components are called. So the statute's name is the Protection of Human Rights Act 1993. Pardon me about the handwriting a bit, but it is very imperative that we understand what each component means, and that is why I am using the handwritten format. So let us understand the components. The Protection of Human Rights Act 1993. This is called the short title. This is basically the name of the act, and in legal terms it is called short title. Then Act number 10 of 1994. So this is called the official citation. The Act number 10 that was passed in the year 1994. This is the official citation of the act. So every act follows the similar protocol more or less, and the names of the components will remain the same throughout the statutes. Then there is a date, that is 8th of January 1994. This is called the date of assent. This date notifies that this enactment came into existence after taking the assent of the President of the state, that is President of India. So the President of India signed and gave assent to this enactment on 8th of January 1994. Then there is a preamble or long title as we call it, an act to provide for the constitution of National Human Rights Commission, State Human Rights Commission in state, and human rights courts for better protection of human rights or for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. So this statement basically tells us what this act aims at. So what is the object or the aim of the object, and why this act has been passed. So this is called preamble or long title. In some acts, the preamble and long titles are differently given, but the preamble is kind of more expressive in giving out the object of the act than compared to the long title. It is more or less similar. It is not the same, but in today's world it is considered as synonyms, or the words or terms are interchangeably used. So for this act, where there is no distinction between preamble and long title, the object is called the preamble and long title. Then we have the enacting formula, that is, be it enacted by the Parliament in the 44th year of the Republic of India as follows. So this statement gives out how the Parliament is going to enact in which year and to what territory it is going to be enacted in. Then we have the first section of the act, that is short title, extent and commencement. This is the heading of the act. This is the heading of the section, and headings basically tell us what the section contains in itself. Then we have the first subsection, that is, this act may be called the Protection of Human Rights Act 1993. Again, as we have seen, this is the name of the act and that is called the short title. So I have written short title here again. Then we have the extent, that is to what particular area the act is applicable to or what area it extends to. So this act, that is Protection of Human Rights Act 1993, extends to whole of India. So throughout the territory of India from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, this act is applicable. Then we have the date of commencement. It shall be deemed to whole of India into force on the 20th day of September 1993. So when the particular enactment is to come into existence is called the date of commencement. Some statutes state the date of commencement. However, some statutes do not state any particular date of commencement, and if this provision is missing from any statute, then we will consider that the date of assent of the President is the date of commencement of the statute. So there is no distinction between date of assent and date of commencement in those cases. However, in this case we have different dates of assent and date of commencement. So this act will be applicable from 20th day of September 1993. Also, some acts contain the provisions for marginal notes. So these are the marginal notes that are given beside the section that they are applicable to. They basically are acting as headings for those particular sections. So for the section 2 of this act, it states the interpretation and application of the act. So whatever this section is stating is the interpretation and application of the act. So these are called marginal notes. So this statement, the first statement, this act may be cited as the Consumer Protection Act, is the short title. As I have already told you, these are marginal notes. Some acts have it while the others do not have it. So the marginal notes basically help us understand whatever is contained in that particular provision. Also, to take another example of the statute, I have here the Code of Criminal Procedure. So some statutes are substantive, some statutes are procedural, some statutes are penal, some statutes are remedial. So as you can make it out from their name themselves, this is the procedural statute. It lays down the procedure for how a criminal procedure should be carried out, how a criminal case should be handled. And also the penal statutes are the ones which are stating punishments. The remedial statutes are the ones which provide some remedy for some other enactment. And let's start with this act. So as I told you, this is the short title because it is the name, the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973, Act 2 of 1974. This will be our official citation. Then we have the date of assent, that is 25th January 1974. Then we have the preamble, that is an act to consolidate and amend the law relating to criminal procedure. So this gives out the object of act, that is what is the purpose of the act? To consolidate and amend whatever there are laws relating to criminal procedure. Then we have enacting formula, that is be it enacted by Parliament in the 24th year of Republic of India as follows. So wherever the enacting formula is cited, it starts with be it enacted. So it is pretty easy to identify the enacting formula. Then some statutes do provide for statements of objects and reasons. Some statutes provide for it, some statutes do not provide for it. But if we have to understand the object and reasons behind enactment of the act, then some acts have provided statements of objects and reasons. Here we'll get to understand in detail the object behind the act and the reasons behind enacting it. Also, as we can see here, some acts also provide for all the amendments that has been done to the respect of that act, and also the statement of objects and reasons. Then we have chapter 1, that is the beginning of the main portion of the statute. The first section that we have is short title, extent and commencement of the act. As we can see here, the short title is given, that is the name of the act. Then the extent is given. It extends to all of India except the state of Jammu and Kashmir, provided that the provisions of the code other than those relating to chapters 8, 10 and 11 thereof shall not apply to state of Nagaland to tribal areas. So some acts do apply to the whole of the territory of India from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, as I have told you before. But some acts do not apply to the particular provisions and they are excluded from the extent section. So here, as we can see, it applies to all of India, but it does not apply to the state of Jammu and Kashmir, and some provisions of the act as given chapter 8, 10 and 11 do not apply to state of Nagaland and to the tribal areas. So we have to really be careful while reading the extent of the act. Then we have the date of commencement, that is the statement which states it shall come into force on first day of April 1974. So whenever the act starts applying, that is the date that it starts applying to or it comes into the force is called the date of commencement, and this act, that is the Code of Criminal Procedure, has come into existence, has come into force on first day of April 1974. So since this day onwards, this act will start applying to all the subjects. Then we have the definitions clause. So some particular terms are defined in the definitions clause, and while reading the provisions of the act, we have to understand those terms as they are defined in this clause. For example, if we are reading a provision regarding charge, so wherever the word or term charge comes, we have to understand charge as it is defined in this definitions. So the application of the act or the use of the act can be done more precisely while applying such definitions. If the definitions are not given, then there are some other acts in which such terms are defined, or we can look at the general meaning if it is feasible to do so. So here I have told you all the basic introduction to the statute and basic concept that are used for understanding and construing a particular statute. This is how the statute looks and it has to be read. I hope you have understand. If you like the video, please do not forget to like, share and subscribe, and also don't forget to switch on the bell icon. Show support. This is my first video and I love making such videos and I would love to help you all. If you have any suggestions or if you want any particular concept, you can drop it in the comment box and I will absolutely try and make the video on that particular topic. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.